Welcome to another Chelsea chat. So this afternoon in the English Premier League, it was Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 2. Not sure how that happened, and we just watched that game, but another great 3 points. Might not have been the best performance in the world. In fact, it was nowhere near it. But when you're winning and you're playing pretty poorly, particularly in that first half, then it's got to be good, isn't it? It's got to be good. So we started off with a really strange team selection to my way of thinking. Kepa was in goal, which I expected. We had Raheem Sterling playing at wing back. At the back, we had Trevor Chalobah, Thiago Silva, Mark Cucurella playing at left side centre half, Chile at left back. In the middle, we had Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Cover. In front of them, Mason Mount and Kai Havertz, and up front, Aubameyang. So away we went. We weren't at the races. Cucurella was absolutely awful at centre half. He looked like just a headless chicken, basically. I know he's played there before for Brighton, but you would never have guessed it in a million years. Absolutely not at the races, and consequently putting pressure on us. Then, fortunately, Tyrone Mings decided to make one of them mistakes that probably keep him out of being in the England side and being a top centre half. He's just too prone to too many of these. He's like Rudiger was in his first season at Chelsea, even under Sarri and under Frank. You know, they're solid, good defenders, but they've always got a mistake in them. Same with Christensen, wasn't it? Yeah, Mings, he tries to head it, but he just heads it up and backwards. And Mason Mount, who I thought was superb today, just runs in. Nice, cool finish. So it was 1-0, and then that was it. We seemed to drop 10 yards. We seemed to be second to every ball. We seemed to let our tempo drop. And we had a bit of an onslaught to face. And Kepa was absolutely out of this world. He made one world-class save from Danny Ings. A couple of other good saves. 3 or 4 bread and butter saves that you'd expect. But one world-class save. Ings was so close when he headed that ball. The reflexes to put that over, superb. And as you know, those of you that watch these, I actually rate Mendy as an all-round better keeper. But I was saying Kepa's only in the side because of his distribution, because of his ball-playing skills. Well, you know what? He shut me up big time today. And if he's going to be playing like that, he is the number one. He is the number one. Let's hope that continues for a long, long while. I fell out of love with Kepa when he didn't come off in the League Cup final that time. But this afternoon, top draw. And I think his attitude, while he's been second in the pecking order to Mendy, has been superb. No moaning, quietly getting on with it. Even if he's unhappy and he wanted away, he hit it well, and top team player. So Kepa, you were amazing this afternoon. And that's really how we went in 1-0 up at half time. Potter, who's a big fan of Cucurella, even he must have thought, crikey, if we carry on like this, you know, with Cucurella playing the way he was, we'll be able to put it out to the punters at the end of the year in black and white and have it as a silent film along with Chaplin and Laurel and Hardy, because he was that bad. One good block though, to be fair to him, and obviously playing out of position, but it was shocking. So second half, we took off Havertz, you know what, the lad, he had run, he had got goal side. He is an enigma, isn't he? He just goes out of games for far too long for a lad with his talent. And I'll make a prediction. I think he'll be on his way at the end of the season. I think he's a lovely footballer. I think he's a superb talent. I don't know if he's not happy in England or what, but it's not happening, is it? It's just not happening. Well, that's what I think. What do you think? That's what I'd like to know. So yeah, we took off Cucurella and Havertz, and we brought on Koulibaly, who was in absolute beast mode when he came on. The difference he made to the confidence in that defence was unbelievable. And Aspie came on, and he slotted in a right wing back instead of Sterling, who then went forward. Sterling didn't have a great game today. He's been off the pace for the last 2 or 3 games, but at least it made us more of a threat than, and it made us steadier at the back, because Sterling had been wandering out of position anyway. He's got the natural longing to go forward and run at players, and that's okay when you're not defending. So we huffed and we puffed, and then Mason Mount, who'd put a proper shift in as normal and he'd scored the first goal, got his second goal of the season with a lovely free kick. First of all, I thought it was really bad goalkeeping, but the more I watch it, it sort of dips and goes away as well. So the goalkeeper's just totally confounded by it. I think the goalkeeper was edging, thought it was going to go to his right, and he took 2 steps there, and then that ball, so hung in the air and went to his left, and it's just left him in no man's land. Lovely free kick actually, but pretty central to the goal. And that's it, 2-0. Rest of the game, we were pretty comfortable. We played the ball well, we got into space well. Bit more like the old Chelsea from the point of view of possession, keeping the ball. We must be brilliant at keep ball. But yeah, just really a good, hard-working performance. Conor Gallagher came on and energy levels went up. Ruben Loftus-Cheek had a good game, very strong in the centre there. I think we found his position. He gives you everything there. He can defend, but he can also spring forward quickly. One thing I did like was Cover and Ruben Loftus-Cheek covering for each other. When one went forward, the other one dropped, and vice versa. That was nice to watch. Aubameyang might as well not have been there today. Not particularly his fault, it's just that we weren't playing to his strengths. And yeah, as I say, not a great performance by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. Villa are going to think to themselves, unlucky not to come away with anything. Old Slippy Stevie G, another prediction, I reckon he might get a bullet in the morning. Much to the amusement of a lot of Chelsea fans, I would suspect. I've got a small mind, much to my amusement as well. But yeah, you know what, with Stevie G, I'll never forget him playing his last game for Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, and we give him a standing ovation, and he couldn't even acknowledge it. So I'm sorry, brain of a pea. Cabbage, professional cabbage. So that's it really. Right, we'll go through the team. Kepa gets a 9.5 from me. The only reason you don't get a 10 is because one of his kicks went out, and I very rarely give a 10, but you know what? He's as near to a 10 as you can get without it being a 10. World class save, good performance. Obviously he's not as good as Mendy in the air, but you know what? He came and he punched for everything. Nice little double save, possibly a treble save there, and one world class save from Ings. Just out of this world, that. His reflexes, the mutt's nuts. So yes, that's Kepa. He gets a 9.5. Over right wing back, I'll call him, it was Raheem Sterling, who gets a 5 from me. I thought he was not at the races today. Just inside him, we've got Trevor Chalobah, who gets a 7.5. I thought he was really, really good again today. Nice and solid. Wesley Fofana's going to have a hell of a battle to get back in that side when he's back. Hell of a battle. He might be a better ball player, but dear, defensive-wise, Chalobah's concentrating. He was right at it today. Next to him, Thiago Silva gets a 7.5. Apart from one mistake in the first half that nearly cost us dear, he was his normal reliable self. Cucurella gets a 3. I don't know what was wrong with him. I don't know if he was having some sort of breakdown, but that was pretty well as bad as it gets. I think he was getting the wrong side of people. He was giving the ball away. I don't think he won a header. He was pretty poor. Chile, not his best game today. He'll get a 6. Getting forward, I don't know if it's manager's orders, but a lot of the time he passes backwards when I think if you've got Aubameyang on there, what's the point of having him on there if you're not going to whack balls into the box? So I'm a bit disappointed with Chile today, I'll be honest. But I know he's got to have time, but he can do it. His pace is there, a lovely run, but sometimes a bit too negative. Probably manager's orders, as I say. In the middle, Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets an 8. I thought he was excellent today. Strong, drives forward, but also very good defensively. They were trying to rough him up. That little McGinn does you nothing, doesn't he? You know, you want him to face a Steve McMahon or a Vinnie Jones. Yeah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he gets an 8. Cover, not his greatest game. I found he was trying to do too much at times, but he gets a 6.5. He gets a 6.5 from me. Bloke always puts a shift in, doesn't he? Always puts a shift. In front of them, Havertz gets a 4.5. Didn't really bring anything to the game. And the lad was trying. He was trying. He was getting goal side. He was trying to get his... Nothing was working for him. Doesn't look happy. His body language is pretty poor. Yeah, what can I say? What can I say? Mason Mount gets a 9. 2 goals, hard working, defensively put a proper shift in, offensively everything started with him. He gets a 9. If it hadn't been for Kepa's great performance, he'd have been up there for man of the match. Aubameyang gets a 5. You wouldn't know he was on the pitch. Not blaming him, but you just wouldn't have known he was on the pitch. So he got taken off and presumably saving himself for the Champions League. I'm not going to score the subs, but Koulibaly was immense when he came on. He'd be up there with an 8 if I was scoring him, and Conor Gallagher would be getting a 7. Aspie, yeah, nice and steady Eddie, and a big improvement defensively on having Sterling there, and he would have got a 7 as well. Potter, I'm going to give Potter a 6.5 because I think he got away with one today. I'm going to give him a 7 because he got away with one today, and that's a good 3 points. But I thought his initial setup was his initial team. He sees them in training, doesn't he? What can I say? I thought it was poor team selection and poor positioning. But do you know what? He did something about it at half time. He gets a 7. Great 3 points. If you can play poorly and still come away with a cookie jar, then happy days. That's the sign of a really, really good side. We're going in the right direction, but I say the performance weren't great, particularly in that first half. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe to the channel, and I shall speak to you after the Brentford game in midweek. Thanks for watching. Please throw the video a like. It helps me algorithm. I'll speak to you soon. Up to Chelsea.